Everybody, how you doing? This is Curtis R. Monday, the owner of CRM Rental Properties and the Monday Investment Group. Just finished up doing the radio show C Flips, Heat Flips that I do every week in Chicago. C Flips, Heat Flips is a real estate investment show that I do with my co-host EJ Williams. We give tips and strategies about real estate investing. You can catch the show every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time on WVON 1690 AM The Talk of Chicago, or on iHeartRadio if you're not in the Chicagoland area. For the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the BIRD method of real estate investing. What's the BIRD method? It stands for buy the property, rehab the property, rent the property out, refinance the property, and then repeat the process. It's a way for you to grow your real estate investment business. So I just want to dig in a little bit about that concept because it's one of the concepts that I've used a lot in my real estate career. So one, buy the property. So the first tip is, again, you want to buy the property right. You want to make sure that you're buying the property with some form of built-in equity, meaning that you haven't bought it at its highest point. A lot of times if you're buying a distressed piece of property, right, there's a good chance that you're buying a property at the proper price point. So you want to make sure that you're purchasing that piece of property at the right price point. You don't want to pay too much for it. And then right now in COVID-19, I would always say buy the property vacant, so you don't have to deal with dealing with tenants or trying to evict the tenant if you're trying to do something new with your property. Two, rehab it. You got to put some TLC into it. So you got to bring the property back. And you want to make those rehab repairs that's going to add value to the property, that's going to help with what they call the after repair value. So you want to make sure you're doing what needed to be done to the property that's going to add value to it. And so a lot of times with distressed piece of properties, you're probably going to do some kind of renovation to the plumbing, the heating, the electrical work. You're probably going to do the flooring, painting, and maybe some layout changes. But you also want to make sure that those costs associated with what you're doing make sense in terms of your final analysis. Thirdly, after you completed a great project, you're going to rent that property out. You're going to rent it out because that tenant is going to pay for the mortgage on that property, right? And so how do you figure out how to rent it? You work with a professional, maybe a realtor, to try to find you good tenants. You try to make sure that you're charging a rate in terms of rent that matches the market for where your property is located. But you also want to do a very good job of vetting your tenants, especially right now in this COVID-19 environment, because so many people are laid off or losing their jobs. So you want to make sure that if you deal with a market rate renter, that's a renter who has no kind of subsidies in terms of their rental support, you want to make sure that they got good qualities, longevity on their job, the types of occupations. Like I like teachers. I have a lot of teachers that I rent out to. They have good jobs. Or individuals who maybe retired but get a definitive pension plan. Or you can find people who get some form of subsidized housing like Section 8, right? You can be guaranteed that a great portion of your rent is going to be there. And if the tenant can't pay their portion, it's a relatively small piece. And so you're achieving what they call economic occupancy. Next, you're going to refinance that property, right? Because the rehab loan, if you dealt with rehab money, the loan on that is probably really, really high, 7, 8, 9, 10%. The interest rates are extremely low right now in terms of real estate. And so you want to refinance the property to bring the interest rate lower. Also, if you're dealing with hard money lenders, you have probably a 12-month window to get out that loan anyway, so it's going to balloon on you, so you need to refinance that anyway. But the other reason why you're refinancing is because you want to pull out some equity. So here's what I mean. If you buy the property hypothetically at $30,000 and you put about $130,000 into rehab costs, let's say that after repair value or after it's fixed, the value of it comes out to $230,000, right? Now you got a $100,000 spread between what you own the property in terms of the rehab costs and what the property's worth. You're going to rehab that property, you're going to refinance that property, pull some of that equity out, not all of it, just enough to be able to help you with your next acquisition, right? And then you're going to repeat. That's why that's the last R, repeat. You're going to take that equity, repeat, and do the process all over again and buy you another property. You want to be just mindful again in this COVID-19 environment, the after repair value is being impacted by the appraisals of the property. A lot of lenders are becoming more conservative with how they're appraising the values out. So that's a huge part of it. But that's my tip for the week. If you need any assistance with learning how to do this stuff, be sure to pick up my book, The Game, How to Become a Successful Real Estate Investor, or sign up for a strategic coaching session at my website, www.curtisrmonday.com. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.